There's no doubt about it. I love Spider-Man with all my heart. I might be a furry, but heck, my love of Spider-Man surpasses it. Heck, even Spider-Man has some furry variants such as Spider-Werewolf and Spider-Ham.
Puerco? What are you? Some kind of silly cartoon?
You got a problem with cartoons?
But of course, the best thing about Spider-Man that has ever been shown was the Spider-Verse. It was extremely interesting to see several spider variants not only protect their own homes, but every universe in the multiverse. So this got me thinking, what basically was the spark to create the Spider-Verse? Ultimately, there are several spider variants that people love, but the main 7 that I know has the most popularity were of course Peter Parker of Earth 616, Miles Morales from Earth 1610, Gwen Stacy, Penny Parker, Spider-Man Noir, Spider-Ham, and Spider-Man 2099 Miguel O'Hara. But here's the thing. The first ever spider variant that actually crossed over with the Peter Parker we all know and love was Spider-Man 2099 in 1995. And other spider variants won't come in until the 2000s. Starting with Ultimate Spider-Man, the Spider-Man of Earth 1610, and then Spider-Man Noir in 2009. Of course, due to this Spider-Mania, someone has to think of a crossover that no one in Marvel Comics has ever done before. And Big Enough Productions actually thought of it in the style of a video game, Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions.
I am stealth. I am speed. I am agility. I am power. I am. Spider-Man.
When people ask what is the birth of the Spider-Verse storyline or the concept of the Spider-Verse storyline, this is the story you look at. This is the game you must play. It's basically declared as one of several great Spider-Man games and great Marvel games in general. So does the game that inspired and gave birth to the Spider-Verse still hold up? Well, let's take a look. Okay, just for a little heads up, I'm gonna play this bit by bit, narrating, giving trivia, and also giving my own details of how this game really functions. Basically, when you start up the game, it's gonna give you a menu of all 4 Spider-Man basically perched up on a rooftop, and it slides differently every few seconds. Like, that's pretty interesting and a really well done concept. But now it's time to play the game, and it possibly has the best thing in this game. Stan Lee as the narrator. Just by the tone of Stan Lee's voice is enough to tell us this is like a Spider-Man adventure like no one has ever done before. Just listen.
Hey there, true believers! Watch as once again frightening forces are at work in our world, ready to wreak havoc with our very existence. Who or what prowls the halls of Empire State University after dark? None other than the master of illusion himself, the menacing Mysterio!
Oh, there's many things that I love about this game. It's Mysterio's design. Like, I gotta admit, I do respect the MCU design of Mysterio, but I love this version of Mysterio. It's not one giant bubble. It's like the viewing glass in Alice in Wonderland, or the magic mirror from Snow White. Basically an illusion to say all of his tricks are nothing more than smoke and mirrors. I love MCU Mysterio, but I love this version of Mysterio so much. Of course, Spider-Man comes in and he's played by Neil Patrick Harris?
He's a mint. Ugh, I can smell your breath from here.
Spider-Man?
Wait, how would you eat a mint through that fishbowl? Nice! Don't get me wrong, your illusions are nifty and all, but if you ask me, they could use a little more kick.
Okay, whatever. Decent choice for Spider-Man, but here's the thing. Basically, a fight broke and Mysterio was going to get something called the Tablet of Order and Chaos. But Spider-Man accidentally shatters it in the middle of the fight, and one of his wisest mentors appear, Madame Cassandra Webb.
Madam Webb? As if this night wasn't strange enough already.
The Tablet of Order and Chaos is the most powerful of all the mystic artifacts in the world, and you shattered it.
She is somehow linked to the Web of Destiny that links to every spider in the multiverse. And basically, Peter Parker of Earth 616 is basically in the center of the web. But basically, he is disappointed at Peter Parker for doing something so reckless. So, she gathers up an army of spiders to find the fragments before the multiverse collapses. Okay, so the game actually starts. So, what do we expect from this game? Well, obviously that each one of these spiders play extremely different. First, let me start with, of course, the Amazing Spider-Man. The Spider-Man we all know and love. Bitten by a radioactive spider, with great power comes great responsibility, blah 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 blah. And of course, he did this for around 8 to 10 years, and he's pretty good at it. For Amazing Spider-Man, he always makes these web attacks. I'm like, it's pretty damn cool. Next, we go to the Ultimate Spider-Man. Now, there's one thing about Ultimate Spider-Man. See, even though both this Peter Parker and this Peter Parker look very similar, it's the fact they're not. See, the Peter Parker we know and love is around 24. This Peter Parker from Earth 1610 is around 15. So he's very inexperienced, so Madam Web gave him the one thing he will never wear as long as he lived due from experience.
The black suit! What am I doing in the black suit? I hate this thing!
Stay calm, young Peter. This suit has extra abilities you will need in your quest.
Like what, trying to take over my body?
I said stay calm. My psychic powers will keep it from overwhelming you.
Yeah, well, I hope you get the receipt.
By the way, that's Josh Keaton from The Spectacular Spider-Man, one of my favorite voice actors, and he's also the voice of Electro in Spider-Man PS4. Now, basically, when you have the symbiote suit, you're basically gonna get a lot of symbiote-like attacks, like tendrils, tentacles, popping out everywhere. But of course, there's a little trivia between the Venom we know and the Venom of this universe. See, in Earth 1610, this version of Venom was not an alien symbiote. Far from it. He's basically the cure for cancer that went wrong. Of course, everybody knows the story. Black suit, church bell, Venom, and yeah, basically that. And you might be asking if there's anything else I should know about this version of Peter Parker. Well, just one important fact if you haven't seen the movie Spider-Verse. Think about that. He was 17 when he died. And it passed on to a kid from Brooklyn, and he's doing his best to keep that responsibility. Up next, we meet another Spider-Man who isn't Peter Parker.
Miguel O'Hara, Spider-Man of the year 2099.
That's me, ready to save the universe and looking good while doing it.
Basically, how Miguel O'Hara became Spider-Man is a bit more different than a regular Spider-Man with the common powers of radioactive spider. See, he worked in a company called Alchemax, and their main focus was genetics. But let's just say in 2099, Alchemax is the new Osborn, who basically focus on the shady side and mostly cutting corners. Of course, basically Miguel was in trouble for seeing something he shouldn't, and the company basically poisoned him. So in order to save his life, he merged his DNA with that of a spider, and he became the Spider-Man of 2099. Now, of course, he does have the powers of the spider, similar to that of the Spider-Man, but he does not have the spider sense. He has talons and fangs, and his eyes are much more sensitive to light, and he has organic webbing, similar to that of Tobey Maguire. But now it's time for the final spider, a Peter Parker who took in a darker path. Welcome to Earth 9214, in the winter of 1932 during the Great Depression. Crime was always in every alley, and Ben Parker was killed by Norman Osborn's right-hand man, Adrian Toomes, but not murdered. Eden and his nephew Peter listen to his words. If there's too much power, then it's the responsibility of the people to take it away. So he finds the spider idol. Several spiders crawled out and it bit him, becoming the Spider-Man. The one thing I love about Spider-Man Noir in this game is, one, he's voiced by Christopher Daniel Barnes, who voiced Spider-Man in the 1990s animated series. His gameplay is 100% extremely different. Basically, majority of his missions are stealth. And believe me, once you step into the light, they will notice you and shoot so much bullets it will hurt. You can't fight them fist to fist, you basically have to use stealth. And I think it's from Spider-Man War that Spider-Man started using stealth in his games, which is pretty interesting. The one thing I am slightly disappointed is the fact that he doesn't have the fedora and the trench coat. Seriously, those are possibly the best aspects of Spider-Man War and I love it. Still, it's good enough. Okay, back to the actual gameplay. Now, one thing you should know, this is not an open world game. It's basically a point A to point B linear storyline, and basically each Spider-Man has the same concept. Now basically each level has a boss, obviously, and of course you will fight the boss 2 times, one of them with their normal abilities and the other one with the fragment. Now take a look here. The first boss is Kraven the Hunter. Now of course you will fight him first in a cage match, and there are moments where you literally get to rock him, sock him, and punch him in the face, and the second time he'll be powered by the fragment. There are even moments where you have to fight him more than 3 or 4 times, but I guess it makes sense to actually hype up the boss. In fact, there's actually a form of characterization and a story arc in this game with both Spider-Man Noir and Spider-Man 2099. Spider-Man Noir, in all 3 of his levels, he's basically hunting down the Goblin's, Norman Osborn's gang. First is Hammerhead.
This rock sooner. First, I'll get rid of you. Then, I'll get rid of Osborn. I'll own this town.
Then Vulture. Okay, that one felt more personal. Then Norman Osborn himself, the Green Goblin.
Behold, the Goblin in all his glory. Stronger, more powerful.
And that hair, it's scarier than ever.
With Spider-Man 2099, he's looking for a conspiracy about alchemists. Just like always. First comes the Hobgoblin. He did not appear in the comics.
Nice try, but my nanofiber wings broke the fall.
Nanofiber? How'd you get your claws on that?
Then comes Scorpion. That one was personal and did appear in the comics, and he was originally Venom 2099.
Monster! But no more. She promised.
She who? Who promised? Ron, listen to me!
And then comes Dr. Octopus.
Welcome to the Shadow Division, Spider-Man. Tomorrow's weapons developed today. And at the heart of it all, my masterpiece. Impressive, isn't it?
Meh.
What do you mean, meh?
I've seen one of these before.
No, you haven't.
I have. I totally have.
It's a condensed matter reactor, the only one in existence.
Is that what it is? Oh. Eh.
That one did not appear in the comics, and I wish she did. And that's a really good design for the 2099 arc. In fact, did the creators of Spider-Verse took inspiration from this game for the design of Doc Ock? I gotta admit, that's a pretty cool idea. But of course, there's always a favorite boss fight I will always love. and that's Deadpool. Yes, Deadpool makes an appearance in this game as a boss. What happened is that Ultimate Spider-Man was looking for the fragment like he should be, and it ends up in a TV show in an oil rig in the middle of the ocean that is hosted by Deadpool. Now basically, the one thing you should do in this level is find a way to piss off Deadpool long enough just to make him give up the fragment. And it's pretty easy, just destroy his cameras, play along to his games, and you'll basically have to outrun a tsunami.
On the bad news tip, viewers are advised to seek higher ground because we're about to have a massive tidal wave tear through here. Looks like it'll be caused about 5 seconds from now by some nutty feather plucker detonating a whole mess of explosives underwater. Of course, the question on everyone's lips is who would be crazy enough to... Oh wait, it's me!
Heck, even when I pause the game, Deadpool is breaking the fourth wall.
Pausing just to pause. Admit it, you have a pausing problem. You're a pausaholic. Okay, Bear walks into a bar, says, "I'll have a lime and soda." Bartender says, "Why the big pause?" Oh, look at the widow baby with the cute widow pause button. Right, go ahead and pause whenever it's convenient for you. What about me? What about my needs? Ah, you pause too much. You know what? I'm just gonna keep saying this every time you pause now. The writer has more important dialogue to write for this game.
But alas, every great moment has to come to an end, and this game ended it with a spectacular way. See, throughout the game, Mysterio still has a fragment, and it empowers him, making him stronger. And of course, this led to the final boss with Mysterio. Now to be fair, I love this boss fight. And I want anyone making a Mysterio's boss fight, yes, I'm looking at you, Insomniac, to take inspiration from this game. Because it feels so surreal. Like, first you start out with Spider-Man in war, hiding from the light to get close to Mysterio. Then you go to Ultimate Spider-Man, taking him down with the rage from the symbiote. Then you fall down as 2099, punching him in his glass face. And you finish it off with Amazing Spider-Man, taking the final blow with his partners from the multiverse.
Spider-Man.
Wait, the tablet! Oh, it could still be mine! It could still...
Some guys never learn. And speaking of learning, you should learn how to count. Something tells me you're outnumbered. Gentlemen.
I really hate this fella. Come on, he's a blast to kick in the face.
Pal, you got...
Shot!
Well done. The walls of reality are rebuilding themselves. And now, you must all return to your own dimensions.
See you later, older and less cool versions of me.
Old? Hey, I'm from the future. To me, all you guys are ancient history.
Good to know there is a future, and men like you to carry on the good fight.
Word. Bye, guys. Next time you should hang around longer. We could start a bridge club or something.
Are there things that I'm still disappointed about this game? To be honest, a little bit, due to the fact Beanox canceled their contract with Sony and Marvel. I mean, I understand. The last games that they made were the Amazing Spider-Man games, and yeesh, not good. But that doesn't mean I want another Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions game. I mean, I love this game. I would actually like if they put Miles or even Gwen into the game. Heck, or even Spider-Ham in the most cartoonish thing I've ever seen. But to me, I feel like Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions still holds a very high title in one of the greatest games ever made, and one of the greatest Marvel games ever made. And I still hold it with my heart and kept it on my shelf as a collection. And as always, thanks for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more content.